We have been preparing for this interview for 3 months. Armin Papperger is the CEO of one of the biggest arms manufacturers in Europe. The Kremlin is hunting for him. This is his first interview with the Ukrainian media. Russian government tried to assassinate you.
Always dangerous, and at the end of the day, we will do our best to survive, like you're doing.
This year, Rheinmetall company received an order from Ukraine to build like 4 factories, if I'm not mistaken.
You had a forest there, and then after 12 months, you have a production line there. We work Saturday and Sunday also in this area. We do at the moment everything to help.
Mr. Papperger, thank you for agreeing to this interview. You are a highly anticipated person in Ukrainian media.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that, and I'm happy to have the interview with you, Oksana.
You are the head of one of the biggest, largest European defense company, which is helping Ukraine since the full-scale invasion very much. And this summer, I suppose many people were shocked by the news that Russian government have tried to assassinate you. They have some plot, and that the US government and the German government have prevented it. How did you react on this news? Did you truly feel the threat from the Russians?
Look, first of all, I really think what you guys in Ukraine are doing is absolutely great, and the fight that you are doing is your people are very brave, and you fight for democracy and for freedom. And what I like is to say that the NATO and also German people want to fight for that. And we as Rheinmetall, we have to help the Ukrainian forces. And for that, we should not be afraid. And we keep going on fighting, and German government is protecting me very well. I'm very happy about that, and I'm very grateful about that. And we will continue to help Ukraine. Yeah, there are always risks. There are always risks in life, as you know. But as I said, freedom and democracy is so important, so that human beings should continue to fight, and we don't want to live like other dictators are living. So we want to live in freedom, and therefore we have to fight, and I'm not afraid about that.
Do you have any drastic changes in your daily routine after this episode? How German law enforcement help you and assist you with security?
Sure, they do it, but I don't want to go in details about that things, because what you have is usually you have a 24-hour protection, but I don't go into the details. But believe me, it's a very, very professional troop, and they do their really best. For sure, the daily life is changing, yes, because you have, and this is what also my family says. Now we got now some more boys into the family.
In 2015, there was a similar case with a Bulgarian arms manufacturer owner, Armin Papperger, and it was suspected that Russians have tried to poison him with a notorious substance Novichok. The same one was used against a Skripal family and the Russian opposition Alexei Navalny. Did you hear about this episode? Have you discussed it personally with Mr. Papperger, and have you concerned about your safety after this story?
Look, at the end of the day, the German government, this is what I can say, is doing everything to be safe, and also the other partners in NATO are doing that. And the case in Bulgaria, I'm not in detail inside, I can say nothing about that. But life is so always dangerous, and at the end of the day, we will do our best to survive, like you do in Ukraine.
Mr. Papperger said that his case was not on 100% resolved, that Bulgarian authorities were inactive and there are too many spies were deep in his country. Do you have similar concerns with Germany authorities? What we've seen from the news this year, the Bundeswehr officer was convicted of spying for Russia.
I have no fears about that. The safety systems and security system that we have inside Rheinmetall, but I also believe into the systems that we have in our government. I'm not afraid about that. They do everything what they can do.
The Russian government has some special unit who is masterminding not only assassinations but also some explosions on ammunition stocks, on factories, and we've seen that since 2011. Firstly, they were trying to disrupt arms supply to Georgia, then to Ukraine, and now we've noticed some mysterious cases since 2022. What I'm trying to ask, are you satisfied how NATO leadership is preventing such kind of sabotages? Do we need like additional measures on both on national level and on the level of alliance?
What we did is we really protected. We have a much higher protection level now on our factories that we had before. And the government is checking these protection levels, and my internal team is checking daily that levels. We do at the moment whatever we can do. So, for example, we have one of the best cyber centers in Europe, and we have, I must say, hundreds of thousands of cyber attacks for Rheinmetall. But on the defense side, nobody could attack us at the moment. I'm very happy about that, and we are. I think that we are very safe.
While preparing for this interview, I encountered some article where then Defense Minister Christian Lambrecht, just a few days before the full-scale invasion, was telling again that Germany is refusing to supply Ukraine any defense weapon, and she was talking only about like kind of 5,000 helmets. And here we are in 2024, and now we are at the stage where Germany, one of the leading suppliers to Ukraine, and actually helped Ukraine during delays with the US aid. How do you personally explain such changes in German position, and do you think it was kind of a mistake back in 2022 that Berlin was so indecisive in his help, in his aid?
Minister Lambrecht is not longer a minister, so the new minister is, I think, on a very good cause to help Ukraine. And as you said, on the Ukrainian side, Germany is at the moment, I think, number 2 of the United States of America to help Ukraine with weapons and with ammunition. And Rheinmetall is by far the biggest producer for that. And I'm very happy that we can help, and I'm very happy that I can help the German government to be an enabler that the Ukrainian forces can fight.
Now Ukraine has some issues with receiving permission for a long-range missile Taurus. How do you suppose whether we get a green light on that decision, and why does it take for so long to Germany to give it? Because like the US, the UK have already given theirs permission.
Yeah, I think this is a purely political decision. It's very hard for an industrial leader to go into this political discussion. But what you see is our chancellor always said, we want to help whatever we can help. But you have to ask him personally about this long-range stuff, because it's a decision from the German chancellor, so I cannot help a lot about it.
There's also an ongoing discussion on whether to allow Ukraine strike deeply into Russia. What are your thoughts on this matter?
My personal thought is that at the end of the day, you must be able to do it, because if a country is attacking you, you must be able to attack also your enemy. But at the end of the day, as I always said, it's political decisions, and President Zelensky is at the moment looking around the world, and he's very active, and he tries to convince the politicians to help in that area. And if I see the peace plan that that is today also in the German newspapers, everything described in that peace plan to do, and the long-range attack is one of the points.
Are you personally find it reasonable, this peace plan?
Yes, I find it reasonable, but I really don't know if it is at the end of the day if it is successful. What I believe in the peace plan is that at the end of the day, if an aggressor is coming in, you have to show him that you are strong. If you're weak, yes, you will lose.
Do you agree with President Zelensky that it is necessary for us to be a part of NATO just to prevent such aggression in the future?
Look, if you would be part of NATO, I think that it wouldn't happen. But you are at the moment not part of the NATO, and it should be for sure for the Ukrainian government a big target to become part of the NATO because it's a protection shield.
Your company has like very, very long history. If I'm not mistaken, it's like more than 100 of years, yes?
We are founded in 1889, so we go now to about 130 years. It's a company which survived the First and the Second World War, and we always build it new up. And Rheinmetall is a very strong technology house, so we have a lot of different technologies, not only tanks, from main battle tank via infantry fighting vehicles down to trucks. But especially electronics, a lot on the electronic side, the air defense side, and a lot of that equipment, and for sure ammunition, the biggest ammunition producers in artillery worldwide. And we also are able to deliver a lot at the moment to Ukraine, and we are very happy about it.
I've read that at your company, workers during world wars were working like 3 shifts. Would you say that now you are working on the same level? Do you feel that your company now at resurgence, at modernization?
Yes, we do. And especially our ammunition factories are working in 3 shifts. Our powder factories working 24/7. We work Saturday and Sunday also in this area. We do at the moment everything to help you.
Bloomberg Media reported that your company revenue has grown by over 100%, and it was due to weapons ammunition manufacturing, and also was bolstered by acquisition of the Spanish company Expal. How do you comment on this article? Is this true actually?
Yes, it is true, and I only give you a figure. Only this year we will grow 40%. Next year we will again grow 40%, but from the last 3 years we had a growth rate of 100 or more than 100%, absolutely over that period. And the reason is not only Ukraine. The reason is that the European countries at the moment are looking to fill the depots and are looking for new equipment. And this is everything. There is at the moment, for sure, air defense is so important, especially against the drone attacks. So we have these outstanding gun-based systems which really kill the drones 100%. And at the moment, 23 nations are on the way to order that systems. By the way, the first systems, the Skynex systems, and hopefully very soon also the Sky Ranger systems, are then also in Ukraine. And we can protect the Ukrainian soldiers and the Ukrainian people, which is very, very important, and the Ukrainian infrastructure to help, and especially against these drone attacks.
Rheinmetall had already founded the joint venture company with Ukraine, and it was in 2023, and this year the maintenance hub in Western Ukraine was officially opened under the umbrella of this joint venture. At what stage there is a cooperation between your company and Ukraine?
Yeah, we have a lot of good plans, and the first factory is now running, and Ukraine Defense Industry is our partner. And we have now a production plant and a maintenance plant. We will have end of this year the first very modern infantry fighting vehicle links in Ukraine, and we want to build it also very soon also on the Ukrainian side. At the moment we make maintenance on the infantry fighting vehicles, but also on the main battle tanks. So it's a very, very positive joint venture that we have with Ukraine defense industry. I'm very happy about that. It's the first joint venture where we have the majority. Rheinmetall is 51%, and we are on the way at the moment to build up a powder production and an ammunition production also in Ukraine. And number three, it is planned to build up also an air defense production so that you are able to protect yourself.
Are you satisfied with protection of this production in Ukraine, because the risks are higher than in Europe?
Yes, I'm happy. What we do is we have a strong education program also for the people to educate them how to do. But I'm happy. In some areas we could do things faster. But, you know, on both sides, on German side and on Ukrainian side, there are sometimes bureaucracy, but at the end of the day, it works.
This year, Rheinmetall company received an order from Ukraine to build like 4 factories, if I'm not mistaken. How is it progressing right now?
Yes, it is progressing. And as I said, the first factory is ready, and the second is on the way. And I'm pushing at the moment to hurry up because we have no time. We should not lose time.
Of course, for security reasons, we will not go into details. But what we would like to hear more about capabilities of this production, what we will have in the result.
Well, the capabilities are very good. So as I said, the production line number 1 has the capabilities to build full tanks. The capability of the powder and the ammunition is to build double and triple based powder on NATO standard, which you at the moment don't have, because your production lines in Ukraine at the moment still have the old Soviet Union standard. And so this will be an outstanding good technology that you will have. And there is also an auxiliary production, and we can also implement a tank ammunition production there. So I think we are on a very good day. More details I cannot give you.
Is there any potential for future after war for this production line?
Yeah, sure. I believe that this production lines has a bright future, and we can use these production lines also, let me say, for other European nations. So I think that the business model that we have is also very sustainable.
Your colleague from Turkish company Baykar complained that when he was trying to build a plant here in Ukraine, that Ukrainian side demanded approximately $10 million for connection to electricity grid. Do you have the same problem with Ukrainian side, and do you have any issues with Ukrainian government?
No, we sorted everything out. Everything is in line. I'm happy.
Rheinmetall is one of the producers of Leopard tanks, Marder, Gepard, Lynx, Panzerhaubitze, and many of these arms, many of these weapons are going to our front line. Which of these weapons was and is the most effective, on your opinion, on the battlefield? And do you receive a feedback from our soldiers?
We get feedback from your forces, but I think it's better that you speak with the Minister of Defense about that things, because these are confidential informations. But what I can tell you is that they are very happy with the performance. What we have to do better is maintenance, and we are on the way to do this. And but the Ukrainian forces are very, very happy. I think I can say that the most successful at the moment, what we get feedback, is the infantry fighting vehicle model.
Do you receive a negative feedback? And what kind of lessons did you learn in terms of weapon from this war?
And we are happy to get that feedback. And if we get reports from the forces, because we do that vehicles and we do that equipment for the soldiers. We want to protect the soldiers. We want to bring them safe home. And if there is something that we can do better, we do better.
In terms of air defense systems, what kind of technologies Rheinmetall is offering right now?
At the moment, you have the Skynex system. The Skynex system is a weapon-based system against drones. We attack drones in a distance of 4 kilometers, and it's an automatic system. So even if swarm attack is coming in, we are able to protect whole cities. And this Skynex system at the moment protects an area of 16 cross 16 kilometers. And the two systems are in Ukraine. You need much more. We are in production. And the other system that we developed is a so-called Sky Ranger system. And the Sky Ranger system is on vehicles. So it's a variable system that you can move with that system on the front line, for example, and you are able to shoot down also artillery rounds. That would help now the forces a lot because, as you know, there is a lot of artillery fire over the Ukrainian troops. And I spoke with your Ministry of Defense about that, and the Minister of Industry, and they are looking to get also such systems. This is at the moment missing. But we coordinate also missile-based systems, so in combination with our gun-based systems. So I think we can help a lot to protect also the infrastructure. But for sure, you need much more. This is at the moment, Ukraine is a big country, and you have a big front line at the moment. And the number of systems you have at the moment is absolutely not enough.
There is some kind of discussion in Ukraine. Ukrainian armed forces have some mix of weapon. Soviet and new NATO, kind of we call it a zoo of weapon. And sometimes it's difficult to maintain it, to fix it, to repair, and to go into battle with it, because you have to have different experts. Do you find it a problem in Ukrainian armed forces? That we do not have kind of a one direction, like a NATO-based systems?
Yeah, look, it's always a problem if you have a lot of different systems, but at the end of the day, you have no other chance. Because there is at the moment nobody who can give you thousands of the same vehicles. And that is the reason that you got your SU, because in that SU you have now 10, 15 different infantry fighting vehicles, because the Western countries gave what they ever can give. And but the standardization will come over the next 10, 15 years, I'm sure about that. And then you have changed the vehicles, but to be fair enough, the vehicles you have at the moment, for example, our motor vehicles, yes, they look like brand new vehicles. So you don't scrap them in 5 years because they are good now for the next 25 years. So your SU will stay a little bit longer.
And Ukraine needs a variety of ammunition daily. Is the European Union promised about 1 million of rounds, and the Czech Republic also have found a way to procure another 1 million. But we have kind of issues with delays, with production, and President Zelensky also complained about that. How do you explain those issues, and whether it could be resolved?
At the moment, Rheinmetall is on a level of we grow up to 1.1 million rounds that we produce. We cannot produce only for Ukraine. There are also some other partners who need ammunition, but a lot of this stuff will go. 100,000 of rounds from Rheinmetall are going to Ukraine, and to be fair enough, we are not in delay. We deliver in time.
This year you also received some order from the German side and from Ukrainian side, and I've read that it's promising to have some deliveries in next year. Can we elaborate more on this matter?
Yes, absolutely. And our capacities are growing, and as I said, we are in production. We build up a factory in 12 months. So from the scrap, absolutely yes. You had a forest there, and then after 12 months you have a production line there. So I think there is nobody in the world who is faster in that area. So if I make a handshake agreement, we make it happen.
Were you satisfied with qualification of our workers?
Yes, I'm happy about that, and the people are very, very motivated to fight for you.
This year it was a quite unusual step for your company. You have become a sponsor for a football team, Dortmund Borussia. I mean, defense companies not frequently sponsor such companies. Why did you decide to do that?
Yeah, this was also part of the decision, let me say, the German Chancellor made of Zeitenwende, because when Germany made a clear decision to help the Ukrainian forces, I made a decision that defense has to go into the center of the population. And the center of population has to understand how important it is to produce weapons, to be able to protect yourself, to be able to protect democracy. And that was the reason that I said, what is the best way to discuss it? The best way was really to sponsor a soccer club. And Borussia is nearby Düsseldorf, so Dortmund and Borussia Dortmund is a famous soccer club in Europe, a very successful soccer club also in Europe. And if you said there are only at the moment two clubs in Germany which are as successful, it is Bayern Munich and it's Borussia. And Borussia, because it's 50 kilometers away from here, is the best way to do it. And the discussions are very fruitful. It's a political discussion, and it's a discussion in the German population. And to be fair enough, every week there are 80,000 people who have a look to the Rheinmetall signal and say, okay, look, they protect us. So therefore it was very positive.
Well, some fans with a pacifist views, they find it a little bit inappropriate. And there are a lot of people who blame such companies as yours that you are profit from wars. How do you react on this kind of criticism?
Yeah, good. There are always people who criticize you. And this is the positive thing of democracy. Everyone can say what he wants to say, yeah. And but I think these are 5% of our population, and but the rest is with us, and I'm very happy about that. That we have such a positive discussion.
What would you say will be the main challenges in 10 years for defense industry in the European continent?
Look, we must be very flexible, and at the moment, I think the next 10, 15 years will be years that we have to fill our stocks. And over the last 20 years, we made big failures. And the failure was very clear that we prepared ourselves not to that an aggressor is coming and want to kill us. And this was a big failure, because we should do much, much more to protect ourselves. If we would better prepare, all the Western world, if we would better prepared, I think it wouldn't. At the moment, we build up the factories, but we build up the factories also flexible. And I think this is the lessons learned, that we need huge capacities, but we must be able to reduce the capacity maybe in 10, 15 years, and we must be still profitable. And if a dangerous situation is coming up, then we are able to react in months and not in years. At the moment, most of the other companies need years to react. We are very fast. We need 12 months. But a lot of other companies, what I hear is they need 3 or 4 years to build up factories. So we have the factories then, and we should maintain them also over a long period, over decades.
In May, during one of your interviews, you mentioned that there is a need to create a united Europe-wide armored vehicle production hub. Do you still support this statement?
Yes, absolutely. So, and you see that we are on the way. So we have now a cooperation with our friends in Italy, with Leonardo. So this is the first step. We also have cooperations with other vehicle producers. And if you see cooperation, does not mean that this will not be only one company. But the cooperation means that we have to work together to have bigger numbers. And if we have bigger numbers, we can produce, let me say, faster and cheaper, so we are more efficient. And this is what I said also in May.
You also mentioned that you are working on designing the future European battle tank to replace older models. How is this going on?
Yeah, we started with that, and also the step that we have with the Italians is that we say is an interim step for the future model. So we have the modern main battle tank Panther, This counter is, let me say, an outstanding technology. There is artificial intelligence in, there is communication via satellites and other things in, and there is a strong connectivity. It's full digital system, and there is the most modern infantry fighting vehicle Linz, which you get also now in Ukraine. And in combination, main battle tank and infantry fighting vehicle, you have, let me say, 80%, minimum 80% of main ground combat system. And but we work also on the main ground combat system, which will be then a system in 2040, 2045. But we cannot wait so long. We need now something because we have now war, and we are able now to produce that stuff. And in Italy, for example, we will deliver in the next 2 years. We will deliver the first infantry fighting vehicles to the Italian forces.
Do you think European and all other Western leaders should be more decisive with their help to Ukraine?
Look, I think that a lot of the countries do whatever they can do. At the end of the day, I always said we have to do the utmost to help Ukraine, because if the Ukraine forces are not successful in this area, we have a destabilized Europe, and that is the reason that we have to do everything to help Ukraine. The only positive thing about that is the war is a wake-up call. It's a wake-up call for NATO, and it's a wake-up call for the European states, and that changed, and that's the reason that I believe that never ever the budget for defense will be so low than that it was 5-6 years ago.
Mr. Papperger, that's all my questions. I would like to thank you for our conversation.
Thank you very much, Oksana. It was a pleasure to meet you, and hopefully I can meet you personally when I'm next time in Kiev.